the ones who've thought about it, and there are a lot of those. But for a lot of people, particularly those who are just repeating what they think they should say or responding to the momentary rage of the moment, they just throw stuff out. And we've got to hope that the Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi, is in that category. She said this just yesterday. Watch.
There's free speech, and then there's hate speech. And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie, in our society.
There's free speech, and then there's hate speech. This is the Attorney General of the United States, the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of the United States, telling you that there's this other category called hate speech. And of course, the implication is that's a crime. There's almost no sentence that Charlie Kirk, and I'm not running the risk of appropriating his memory for my own ends by saying this, it's provable. There's no sentence that Charlie Kirk would have objected to more than that. And you've got to think the Attorney General didn't think it through and was not attempting to desecrate the memory of the person she was purporting to celebrate, that she just threw that out there, that she hadn't thought about it. You hope that. You hope that Charlie Kirk's death won't be used by a group we now call bad actors to create a society that was the opposite of the one he worked to build. You hope that. You hope that a year from now, the turmoil we're seeing in the aftermath of his murder won't be leveraged to bring hate speech laws to this country. And trust me, if it is, if that does happen, there is never a more justified moment for civil disobedience than that, ever. And there never will be. Because if they can tell you what to say, they're telling you what to think. There is nothing they can't do to you because they don't consider you human. They don't believe you have a soul. A human being with a soul, a free man, has a right to say what he believes, not to hurt other people, but to express his views. And by the way, that thinking, and not to pile on the Attorney General, who's a very nice person, but that thinking that she just articulated on camera there is exactly what got us to a place where some huge and horrifying percentage of young people think it's okay to shoot people you disagree with, to kill Nazis for saying things they don't like. Why do they believe that? How did we get here? Is it the video games? Is it the SSRIs? Yeah, probably. But what it really is 12 and then 16 years of indoctrination in our schools at the hands of people who tell them that, who say exactly what the Attorney General just said. Well, there's free speech, which of course we all acknowledge is important, so important. But then there's this thing called hate speech. Hate speech, of course, is any speech that the people in power hate, but they don't define it that way. They define it as speech that hurts people, speech that is tantamount to violence. And we punish violence, don't we? Of course we do.
Listen, guys, if there's one thing that we from Africa admire about America or Europe is their ability to speak freely without worrying about what might happen to them after they've said what they wanted to say. In a country like America, you are free to do that. The government won't come after you. Most people wouldn't care. Even the politicians, they wouldn't care. So I have always admired that about America. And let's be clear here. Most Africans look at America as that shiny example that they can emulate when it comes to free speech, freedom of expression, freedom of religion, and the freedom of association. It is really, really great to be able to express yourself the way you want, to be able to speak out what you thought without worrying about the implication. That's really nice. But like Tucker said, it is one thing to speak out your mind, and it is another thing to incite violence or chaos or confusion. But in Africa, all these things are just bundled together. When you speak out your mind in Africa, in most African countries, you will get yourself or you will find yourself in a very difficult situation or circumstance. In my own country, there is this are saying that you are free to express yourself, you are free to speak out your mind, but there is no guarantee of any safety or security or freedom after you must have said what you wanted to say, or you might have expressed yourself the way you wanted. Things might not be all happy for you after you speak out your mind. And most people from my country are very careful not to become victims of situations like that. If the ruling party or members of the ruling party said something, nothing happens to them. Nobody go after them. But when common people or opposition said anything, then the whole law kicks into effect. There are so many laws in the books that they will use against you when you said something that they thought is against the official narrative. This is really bad. You know, when you live in a society where people cannot speak their mind, it makes you wonder what kind of society you are building. When you live in a society where everyone worries about their own safety and security, then people become automatic liars. They are never honest. They never say what they think or what they thought. They are always alert. They are always on the lookout. And they are quickly to cast out one another. It is not a good society at all. It is really not a good society. So when you see America, a place we all have admired, becoming what it has become, then you begin to wonder where we are headed. Because if a country like America, that we believe has stronger institutions, can become like this, can have people who are out there trying to take away people's freedom of speech, what is to become of us in Africa? Because let me remind you something, right? Our leaders in Africa will always use Trump as an example. And they do that, right? Like, look at Donald Trump. Look at what he is doing. But he claims to come from a free society. He claims that his country is way more democratic. They have more freedom of speech. But look at what they are doing. So we, the people, cannot use the freedom of speech or the lifestyle in America to compare to how we are living back home. If we try to say people in the West have freedom of speech and they can express their thoughts the way they want or the way they are thinking, our leaders will just use Donald Trump or Pam Bondi as an example. That is really not good. That is really not good. But to you guys out there, let me hear what you guys have to say. After watching or after hearing what Dr. Carlson had to say about the remarks made by Pam Bondi, what is your take? Is America becoming an authoritarian society? What is your take? Please share that with us in the comment section below, because like always, we love hearing what you guys have to say. And also, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share the video. Don't forget to tell a friend or two about the platform, because we are trying to get our content in front of a wider audience, and we believe that your love and support will get us there way more quickly, and we shall appreciate every single support that we get from you. So thank you very much for doing just that. And like always, see you in the next one.